Oke, teman-teman, hari ini saya sama mentor kita, Mr. Edward Lee di Manila. And thank you, Mr. Edward, for helping us for these 2 years, and our members also. We are very grateful for your help and support.
Yeah, you're welcome, Johan. Yes. Congratulations, I heard you're doing very well.
Thank you. Yes, our members are very happy now. There are a lot of more than 1,000 they are investing already.
That's good.
And
That's
keep
good.
on investing.
Yes.
And actually we are, but still we want insight and wisdom from you.
Yes.
So you are a big advocate on the long-term investment, even when you yourself are traders and have a team of traders here. And why is it? Why advocating long investment?
Well, if you look at the Philippines, and very similar to Indonesia, the number of investors in the market is very small.
Yeah.
Understanding the importance of financial literacy is, I think it's very important for everybody, because a lot of times most people don't understand that just by having the discipline of continuously investing in the market and based on the long-term growth story of Indonesia, I think it will benefit everybody. So what's really important is that today there is a major issue, no, with regards to the disparity between the rich and the poor.
Yes.
So you have to remember, Indonesia is about 250 million people. It's similar to the Philippines, almost 110 million people. And if they don't have that understanding of how financial literacy works, then they will forever be poor.
Yes.
So our advocacy really is if you look at our website, and our mission is really, we believe that all Filipinos deserve to be rich.
Yes.
Just by understanding that if you have that discipline of continuously investing in the best companies like in Indonesia or in the Philippines, you're indirectly the best companies, all the CEOs are working for you as an investor, no? As a passive investing. No? So they have to remember that. So they don't really have to worry, because if you believe that Indonesia in the next 10, 20, 30 years is because of the demographics, young population, and because of the strong government now that are trying to reach out to as many young Indonesians. I think it's very important that once they understand it at a very young age, can you just imagine if you're growing your money at 10 to 12, 15% a year?
Yes.
Right? In 10 years, there's no excuse for not everybody to be a millionaire.
Yes.
Right? So these are the most important thing that is very critical. At a very young age, you need to encourage people how to be probably an entrepreneur, at the same time to have that investing mindset. No?
Yes.
So that as they start putting a small amount of money, the discipline is there. And then when they invest, well, of course, if you put it in the bank in Indonesia, it's okay because you get 6-7%, right? But if you think about it, that a lot of these Indonesian companies are growing 20-30% a year. So if you just buy all these good companies, the banks that pays you the dividend, I call it what we call the B3 basic law of money, that you need to save, you need to invest and reinvest it.
Yes.
In 10 years, all of them should do well. All of them should do well. Now, so these are, I mean, I think 6 years ago or 5 years ago, we was already explaining that they have to understand that Indonesia interest rates was going down, and it did, right?
Yes.
So if you are able to invest in all these good companies, all these conglomerates in Indonesia, all these banks, you would have probably made 30-50% in the last few years. So they have to understand that. Once they understand that, then you can uplift as many Indonesians as possible, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you have less than maybe 10% of the Indonesians start doing all this investment program? Oh, I mean, Indonesia overnight will become much wealthier.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it is really critical that at a very young age, people has to start thinking of their future, of their financial freedom. So not to be just tied on their active income, but doing all this investment program, which is passive income, and one day money is already working for you.
Yes.
So all the best CEOs are working for you or working for us. No. So once you have that program in play, I think you uplift as many Indonesians as possible.
Yes.
No?
I like what you're saying is that everybody
Deserves to be rich, yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And I mean, what I see in JOL as well, like your JOL is a broker, but you do a lot of education.
Yes, we need to.
I saw the trainings.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think anybody do that in Indonesia, so it's amazing. And why you do all this education to the people?
Well, it's because one is that that's what we love to do. No? We're very passionate about what we do. Of course, like you said, we're active traders. They call us the trained traders. We understand rules of the game and how to participate. We don't really encourage that because 85% of the people who does all this short-term trading loses money, right? So I really believe that once you want to do this short-term trading, you better really learn it properly. And that's one of the reasons why we encourage them to know the rules, know the rules. Because the statistics always shows in the last 100 years, those who speculated loses money.
Yes.
So for us, it's of course because we believe that we understand the importance of financial literacy. So as we help and educate these people, if they understand it, then they will help achieve their financial freedom. No? Because what we have seen for the last maybe 30, 40 years is that a lot of these professional people who made a lot of money in their lifetime, but because they don't understand how to do it, and it's so simple, right? You look for it, discipline, long term, and investing in companies that eventually you get your dividend and reinvest it. And most of them, after they get sick, they're old, they don't have money, they have to depend on their families. And it's really sad to see this. Imagine the parent around now trying to beg for money, and then they get frustrated because the parent, apparently their family also have their own responsibility to their families. Right? So these are the challenges we have seen, and we hope that everybody should have that investing mindset rather than more savings, but more of investing mindset. No? Right?
Yes, that's what we teach our members as well in Indonesia. But also what I saw here is very interesting, the Kailum Trading Institute.
Yes.
And several, a bit for a few of our members maybe also aspire to learn about active trading because some have time and they have the passion to do that. As traders for 40 years.
That's right.
And built this school, beautiful school, Kailum Trading Institute. Why build a school?
Well, there are two kinds of people. No? One is that they can go to COL and it's free. It's free. You can go downstairs on the 24th floor. We have seminars every day, right? But sometimes people don't value what is for free.
Yes.
That's the problem, right? They need to pay they have to have the pain that they're paying somebody, right? To learn all these things, which they think there is value, there is a value, because it's a mindset. People just want to be, to pay somebody, thinking that somebody is worth something, which is correct also, right? So because they are paying for that tuition fee, they will be more focused in learning things. No? All these things are all available today in YouTube, in the books, you can see it. The problem is you need somebody with enough authority, with enough experience to summarize it for you, rather than you have to start all over again and learning it from the very beginning. I've been doing it for 40 plus years, right? So what we did was we summarized all the different strategy that is necessary so that you have a better probability that you will do much better compared to just a pure buy and hold passive investing, right? But this can only work if you have the time and the discipline, and you understand how market works, how all the different scenario. Like I was explaining to you this morning, there really is several scenarios which you have to understand. Once you're able to do it, then you can be on the 15% that makes all the money, right? Or else you will just stick to the long-term investing, active investing, like what you're doing. You're guiding them to when to buy it and when to sell it. These are what we call active investing, and then do it the dollar cost average. And they will outperform. They will outperform. They will outperform.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so, I always heard you also saying Indonesia is very prospective and you have a good future and everything. Why is that? Maybe.
Well, you know what? The nice thing about Indonesia is that you have a strong president today that is really working for the masses, which is very important. He sees the disparity between the super rich and everybody else. No?
Yes.
So that is the reason why that's why of course he's very popular because of that also. Because and then also for the last I think 15 years, Indonesia also is really went after the corrupt officials, no. So corruption is a major issue, no.
Yeah.
And I've talked to some of the people. They're really so afraid to be in contact with officials, government officials, because they're afraid that they might be, even though they're not, they might be branded as paying them off, right? So it's like a lobbying to get a better deal or whatever, no. So Indonesia has gone to that long-term corruption, running after all the corrupt officials. So which we are trying to do also here now in the Philippines, but it will take time. We have also a strong president today. It's a populist government wherein they're trying to bridge also the disparity, huge disparity, because you have to remember the 0.1% owns 90% of the wealth. Huh? So there's no middle class here, right? It's similar to Indonesia now. You need that middle class. Then it will expand. Then the GDP per capita will grow.
Thank you, Mr. Edward, for always supporting us.
No,
and
thank you. It's my pleasure.
And we are very grateful. And you give your best people to us.
No.
And we will keep on investing and telling our members to keep on investing.
You have to remind them. So it's always a follow on true rights, because people will always forget the most important thing, that they have to do it so that by one day they will have that financial freedom.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, okay.
Oke, teman-teman, terima kasih untuk hari ini kita bersama Mr. Edward Lee dari Filipina, dan terus investing seperti pesan dari Mr. Edward Lee, everybody deserve to be rich.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.